However, beneath this facade of strength, fault lines were beginning to appear. The very size of the empire became a burden. Managing such vast distances proved increasingly difficult, especially when communication and travel took months. While Rome prospered economically, the outlying regions felt further and further away. The provinces, with their different languages, customs, and values, chafed under Roman control, sometimes rebelling or seeking closer ties with their cultural neighbors. Rome's diversity also became a source of political instability. Different groups within the empire had conflicting interests and loyalties, leading to constant power struggles and civil wars. This fracturing internally weakened Rome, making it more vulnerable to external threats. By the 3rd century AD, the Roman army, once the pride of Rome, was in crisis. Veterans grew disillusioned with meager salaries and a series of inept emperors. Mutinies and revolts were common. To solve this problem, Diocletian made some drastic changes. He introduced a new currency, raised taxes, and instituted price controls, all of which proved unpopular. He reorganized the army, creating a professional standing force and boosting pay, which helped stabilize the empire momentarily. But these measures only partially addressed the root causes of the crisis. The army, still susceptible to instability, would continue to be plagued by problems throughout the 4th century. The late Roman Empire saw a surge in religious diversity. Traditional Roman polytheism was challenged by the rise of Christianity, a faith that offered a message of hope in a time of increasing darkness. Initially persecuted, Christians faced brutal oppression, including under the infamous Emperor Nero, who blamed them for the Great Fire of Rome. However, their numbers continued to grow. By the 4th century, Christianity had become the official religion of the empire, eclipsing older cults and paving the way for a new era in both Roman and European history. This religious shift significantly altered the moral and spiritual landscape of the empire, shaping its trajectory in ways that would reverberate for centuries. In the face of mounting challenges, Emperor Diocletian made a fateful decision in 285 AD. He divided the empire into two halves, east and west, with the seat of power in the east at the prosperous city of Constantinople. While intended to improve administration and defense, this division weakened the concept of a unified Roman identity. Each half developed its own distinct character. The Western Roman Empire, mired in economic and political instability, would bear the brunt of the coming crises, while the Eastern Roman Empire, with its strong economy and strategic location, would endure for another 1,000 years. Economic woes continued to haunt the Western Empire. High taxes, devalued currency, and the decline of trade contributed to a sharp drop in living standards, especially for the poor. This hardship fueled resentment and instability, making it easier for ambitious generals and corrupt officials to seize power. A series of weak or power-hungry emperors failed to address these issues effectively, leading to a gradual decline in authority and legitimacy. Rome was once the powerhouse of the Mediterranean, controlling vital trade routes and extracting wealth from its far-flung provinces. But now, piracy, Germanic raids, and the loss of valuable territories like Britain diminished its prosperity. Then there were the barbarians. For centuries, the Roman Empire had kept various Germanic tribes at bay, assimilating some and subjugating others. But as the empire's power waned, these groups, including the Goths, Vandals, and Franks, grew bolder. In 410 AD, the Visigoths under King Alaric shocked the world by sacking Rome. This was the first time in 800 years that Rome had been invaded. Such humiliation exposed the fragility of the empire and signaled a profound shift in power. By the mid-5th century, the situation had become dire. In 455 AD, the Vandals, led by Gaiseric, returned to sack Rome again, plundering its riches and carrying off its treasures. The sack of 455 is considered a symbolic nadir for the Western Roman Empire, a stark illustration of its decline and the world's changing power dynamics. In essence, the fall of the Western Roman Empire was not a sudden event, but a drawn-out process. It was the result of multiple interacting factors, each contributing to the empire's gradual weakening and ultimate demise. Overexpansion, economic instability, political fragmentation, military decline, religious shifts, and external pressures from neighboring tribes converged to create a perfect storm that brought down one of the world's greatest empires. It serves as a timeless lesson in the complexities of power, the pitfalls of overreach, and the inevitability of change in an ever-evolving world. Thank you for watching.